Well, the good news is then, everybody, we're ready to go for the start of our third season, as promised. The bad news is the vast majority of these players don't give a damn about my suggestions for player types or anything like that. I also noticed last night, again, I forgot to sign a cap whale at the start of season 2. So some of the contracts, even though they're ELCs, got a bit screwed up. That's not a huge deal. We're not going to run into cap trouble anytime soon.
I'm just trying to walk through.
John Doe with the follow. Welcome in, you nameless person. Welcome. Who's old as hell? Blake Wheeler, you're old as hell. Let's give you a boatload of money. And Trevor Lewis, you are old as hell. Let's give you a boatload of money so that we are cap compliant. Beautiful. I'm going to have to send those guys down to the AHL. Actually, I guess I could just leave them as healthy scratches even. Just leave them as healthy scratches. Not a big deal. Oh, boy. All right, let's go through the preseason here. Coach, our season goal, not looking at making the playoffs, but the preseason. Do we focus on Ivan Kovic again and the goaltending, or do we switch to the power play focus now? That is the question. Matthew on the follow as well. Welcome in. Again, it's skill training and power play focus that are going to be the two primary that we use. We could also do conditioning, for that matter, although we lose puck control. Not the biggest deal in the world. Basically, our team's defensive awareness is going to be tragic. I think we go for the goaltending again. At least until we get more players on this team that are going to be around a bit more long-term. We got a lot of filler players right now and a lot of people that are long shots to make the team for the long haul outside of guys like Michael Misa and, of course, Gavin McKenna, who we got first overall last year. Thank God. Oh, thank God we got Gavin McKenna. And, of course, his goal for this year is going to be to win the Calder. We'll see if that happens. Plus, minus could be a really, really big issue. But the Lions are Miles Lehman, the low elite 18-year-old with Michael Misa and Gavin McKenna. Then we have the low 6 Raymond Woolley with Mayorov and Hedman. And that's about it. Delmore's kind of okay. Of course, we drafted Ryan Lynn last year. He and Haleen are our two best defensemen. The big story in goal, because of the preseason training, is that Jack is up to an 84 overall already. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Feeling pretty good about it. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty rough season. We will put up a prediction in chat again. Why not? Let's do 12.5 wins. Let's do 12.5. I feel like that's fair. I think. Maybe. Do we have much information on the upcoming draft class yet? That is the story of the season right now. Can we land another first overall pick? Because if we do, we get the cornerstone defenseman to go along with the cornerstone goaltender and our top two forwards with Misa and McKenna. Can we land Landon DuPont? If not, there will be other options, including Sergei Skvortsov, who at least is a sniper. But Landon DuPont is the target. Dude, real life, by the way. I'm sure a lot of people have followed him. And again, obviously, by the time this ends up on YouTube, it'll be way down the road. We're getting way ahead. I might have to start uploading like 2 series at once so that we don't fall super far behind. He is so good, dude. It's stupid how good he is. Anyway. Let's do it. Top hat. I'm looking at downsizing the jersey collection, not adding to it, to be honest. To be honest. All right. All right. All right. The wins, the losses. Where will we be at the end of this year? And of course, most importantly, can Gavin McKenna win the Calder Trophy as the league's top rookie? It would be a nice little boost if we were to do well. Goodness. Hey, we finally won a game, by the way. We finally won a game. Michael Misa. Still not willing to add left wing to what he's doing. That's annoying, but pretty expected. Again, most of these guys just don't give a damn about what I'm suggesting. And he was actually the only person who was even willing to talk about potentially changing things. So, that is what it is. We have 3 wins now. Okay. We are losing a lot of games by a lot of goals. Again, the plus minus, the career plus minus of some of these guys might never recover. It might never recover. All right. Have you tried monetarily bribing players? Yes. Yes, I have. They have too much integrity. Bullshit. It's bullshit, I tell you. And still just 3 wins. We are going to be worse this year than we were last year. That doesn't surprise me. Technically, we have worse players in the lineup. The early days of a draft of glory where we are just losing games hand over fist. You love to see it. Speaking of things you love to see, high five. 16 months. Welcome back. Thank you for that. Oh, I look like an idiot betting over. I mean, I don't think the team took that big of a hit. I don't think they did. Yeah, they're up to 5 wins. I mean, we go on a bit of a stretch. Good things could happen. Have you tried bribing the league, especially Colin Campbell? I should try. I'm going to hire Gregory again so I get some, beneficial calls and everything. Knows the Bruins haven't won a Stanley Cup since they haven't had Gregory Campbell on their roster over the last 13 years. So, and the reason they didn't win in 2013 through bribery was, of course, Campbell broke his leg. I'm remembering that. That was that playoff run, I think. Oh, 2013. What a time. Jesus Christ, I was joking about going on a run. We won 3 games in a row. And 4 out of our last 5. Do you, in fact, look stupid? Or are you big-brained by betting the over? Because we're up to 9 wins before the deadline. That's insane. Again, we're not going to do anything at the deadline. We are not allowed to trade in this challenge. 9 wins, a month and a half to go. We set the over at 12.5. Or the line at 12.5. So 13 wins. 3 more. Will it happen? Will it happen? You know what Ivan Kovic is capable of. Month left in the season. I'm not too worried about the draft class yet because we know it's DuPont or not bust, but it's DuPont or disappointment. It's not looking like we're going to get those 3 extra wins. This has been a very rough month outside of beating Minnesota on the 5th. Not much has gone our way here. We do beat Ottawa. We got to win 2 out of our last 4 to hit the over. We got to win our final 2 games to hit the over. It was close, but not close enough. The under prevails by 2 games. There you go. 11-64 and 7 for this year. Hello, leading point getter. Never mind. Second leading point scorer. Gavin McKenna, 47 points. That will probably not be good enough to win the Calder. Let's take a look at the team here. Yeah, so Michael Misa, 57 points, a minus 63. McKenna, 47 points, a minus 68. Probably not going to win the Calder. Woolley on 32 points, Lehman on 30 with 19 goals. Elmore, 27 points. I mean, we had some dudes who did okay point-wise. Defensively, Helene, 32 points. Ryan Lynn, 24, was a minus 107. And in goal, Ivan Kovic. We set his goal for the season to be a 910. And he's going to finish with a 909. Oh my God. He does develop light work for the wrist shots as well, but my God, 1 point off of whatever the hell that boost is, because the game doesn't even tell you. 1 win for Martin Hronik in his time. We had to bring Jack back. He's insane. But again, I do not think we will be seeing a Calder win for Gavin McKenna here. League-wide, Connor McDavid, Pasternak. Kucherov, McKinnon, Point. Top goal scorers, Pasternak, McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews. Ovi scored 53. Nylander also hit 50. For the defenseman, it's likely to be a win for Cale Makar unless they give it to Evan Bouchard again. But the plus-minus isn't nearly as crazy. Really good season for Shea Theodore. Winning us goaltenders, Stuart Skinner. The shutout leaders, Shesterkin, Sorokin, and Vasilevsky. Russian dominance in terms of shutouts. Top save percentage amongst starters was Anthony Stolarz. Trey Augustine's already playing. Jesus Christ, he is already playing games for the Red Wings. Okay. And for the rookie is, Ivan Ryabkin. Not a chance for McKenna, who did finish top 5 in scoring. But Zach Bolduc would have won it over McKenna any day of the week because of the plus-minus. But, yeah, Ivan Ryabkin wins the Calder, or at least will win the Calder quite easily. Again, it is going to be a big-time struggle for certain players of ours to win the Calder early on. That's just the nature of this challenge. Which is why it's crucial that we get high draft picks now, because we should be able to win Calders later on with guys who have like medium 6 potential or even medium elites. So it should all work out long term. For now, it's going to be easier said than done. Easier said than done to win a Calder, but in due time. Oh, goodness. In due time. So we'll see who wins the Stanley Cup, and then it comes down to the draft lottery, of course. The Nashville Predators, win the Stanley Cup in 2027. Fair enough. Ooh, Michael Misa up to an 89. But Nashville wins over the New York Rangers in 7 games. Okay. I don't have too much to add about that. Just fair enough. Fair enough. So again, it has been Florida, Vegas, Florida, Nashville. So I look forward to Florida Stanley Cup again. McDavid wins the Art Ross as well as the Hart Trophy. Cale Makar wins the Norris. Lady Bang to Kucherov, Calder to Ryabkin. Tommy Novak wins the Conn Smythe. Okay. Stolarz wins the Vezina. Thompson the Jennings. Ryan Lynn won the Masterton. Detroit's coach won the Jack Adams. Selke goes to Wyatt Johnston, McDavid to Ted Lindsay, Pasternak to Rocket Richard. In the AHL, again, the Bridgeport Islanders won the Calder Cup, led by leading point scorers Simon Holmstrom, who's also league MVP. Pridham was the top goal scorer, as well as the top rookie for Rockford. William Trudeau was the top defenseman. Sergei Murashov, top goaltender. And Semyon Arkachintsev, who we traded to the Islanders, was the MVP of the Calder Cup winning team. Tommy Novak won the Conn Smythe. I mean, he led the team in scoring. Fair enough. Can't really argue with it. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Progress reports here. Oh, baby, look at that. Oh, Gavin McKenna went high franchise anyway. Right? He was only medium franchise. I'm pretty sure he went high franchise. Ivan Kovac had an 87. Misa goes gold. Started the season with 3 abilities. Develops Relentless, which, meh. All Alone, tremendous. And Gold Elite Edges from Michael Misa. Also the 2 abilities there. No Timer and Light Work for Ivan Kovac. That's amazing. McKenna looking good. And then we didn't have too many other players that we actually care about. Most of these guys were in the AHL. Mongoose is a 68 for the Mongoose. And the AHL, Lynn's up to a 72. That's not bad. Helene's a 72. Wooly up to a 71. Okay. Delmore is 60. I mean, we got some decent development then. That's not bad, especially at the high end. Now, there are players that we can get that we're going to be fine with. Ralph Albertschauser, a generated German. Sergei Skvortsov. Jackson Jacobson. Nolan Fitzhenry. James Scantlebury. Joel Slaney. I mean, we have options. But there's only one player that we truly, truly want here. It's Landon DuPont. Will we get the first overall pick? Isn't Brock Cripps an OFD? Yes. Come on. I can't be too upset that I didn't win the lottery for back-to-back seasons. The Calgary Flames have won the lottery, moving up to number 1, while the Philadelphia Flyers move from 12 to 2. We will be picking 3rd. No Landon DuPont for us. Damn it. That hurts. That hurts. Damn. Damn. Well, it is what it is. Like I said, I am obviously very worried. Hey, Marc-Andre Fleury finishing his career in Montreal. I am very much worried about our ability to get defensemen in this mode as Brent Burns becomes a coach. Please, God, let him be offensively oriented. Please. Yeah, I don't even think we'll land Albertschauser. It's probably going to be Sergei Skvortsov. Probably. You know what I noticed, by the way, is they took away the ability for you to edit a custom team once you're in the game. It doesn't let you do that anymore. I was actually going to change our abbreviation and slightly change our home jersey. But So much for that. At least it doesn't let you do it from here. Maybe I got to get to free agency. But it was always just on the quick links. That's weird. To the draft we go. With the first overall pick, the Calgary Flames select Landon DuPont. We will always be left to wonder what would have been. Philadelphia second to take Abeltshauser. Can only do it with owner mode on? That's really weird. Elite edges and make it snappy for Abeltshauser. Tremendous skater out of the gates, too. So some rough luck for us this year. That does leave us with a few options. Rocco Pelosi is a great name, but I can't guarantee he'll be what we need. So it's either Skvortsov, Jacobson, Cripps should be an OFD if we really wanted to go for an offensive defenseman. And then Fitzhenry, Scantlebury, Slaney. I gotta be honestly, Brock Cripps is probably the safe pick here. Especially, oh man, Skvortsov has so many abilities. Jesus Christ. It is, the smart pick is probably Cripps because, again, it's going to be tough to get high-end OFDs, especially now that we missed out on DuPont. I think it has to be Cripps. Certain aspects to his play that leave a little bit to be desired right now. Like, no denying that Sergei Skvortsov is more NHL ready. Jacobson's another playmaker, and then Fitzhenry. I don't know for sure. It's Cripps or Skvortsov. I think it's got to be Brock Cripps, though, because I don't know if there's any other offensive defensemen coming up outside of generated players. I'm going for Brock Cripps here. Only a 71 overall, but again, OFDs, there's a real chance of them being a rarity. Not many snipers on the team, though. Correct, but I feel like it's going to be easier to get high-end snipers as opposed to getting high-end OFDs. So that's why I'm trying to bank early on players of that caliber. See how good Skvortsov was. He went to Buffalo, 6th overall, 78 medium elite. Yeah. Pelosi was a two-way. No denying. There were some good players. Wow, the Penguins got Probathal, 10th. Jesus. Will there be a guy with that many abilities out of the gates? That I don't know. It is definitely a risk to do what we did. Holy shit, this is a deep-ass draft. There is a chance it'll go down as a mistake. But we're going to see. We're going to find out. The decision's been made. LFC, what's up, man? I'm doing good. How are you? So next up, another potential offensive defenseman, Nick Sue. 3 years out. Radoslav Schuster, 6'5". There is no way you're not a power forward. There's no way. Marek Sakara, I don't trust that he's actually an OFD. This is where it's risky. Ilya Mayorov, very good chance he is not a power forward. But with the positives it mentions, I'm a bit afraid to go for him. Oh, Sergei Voloshenko. Probably too risky. Right? At that size, you would think power forwards, so... Damian Bull, Angelo Barron, another chance at another offensive defenseman. Vladimir Lazarev. No guarantee he's actually a sniper either. Luka Blonda, same thing. Alexander Goldobin. Well, unless something changes, we're taking the Ukrainian. And hoping for the best, because he's not a confirmed sniper, but at that height, he is probably a playmaker or a sniper. But it is mentioning his 200-foot game, which is like, come on, there's no way he can be a two-way, right? Stephen Pitt. Oh, my God, Stephen Pitton. Goldobin or Pitton? Callie Gustafson, 6'5". There's no way. Patrick Betts, not as good. A goalie and Eric, too, that we do not need. Are you allowed to trade? I am not. No trading allowed. It again comes down to defense versus offense. I do believe both these guys are more high-skilled players. The grades, the only ones we can trust are the physical and the senses that are at 3 out of 4 each for accuracy. But he is NHL ready. Pitton, we don't know for sure. We don't know much about Stephen Pitton. That's a big risk, actually, to take Stephen Pitton. It has to be Goldobin because we know he's NHL ready. If we hit with Goldobin, like, yes, I'm sure the guy that we could have taken in the first round has more abilities than Goldobin will, but this could still work out really, really well. Alexander Goldobin's the pick. He's a two-way. We can't keep him. I said I was worried about the 200-foot game as a positive. Fuck. We just wasted our second-round pick. That's the risk we take. It was worth it. Can't try to change him over. No. I've elected against that. I've elected against that and just said it is what it is. If we miss, we miss. Because you have to sign him first. And then potentially play him for half a season. So. Sue wasn't even that good. Lazarev was a playmaker. Same with Voloshenko. Pitton would have been a 68 overall, medium 4, OFD at 17 years old. We missed. Betts also would have been pretty good as a playmaker. Greilinger as a sniper. We missed. We went for the home run shot instead of an okay player. And we missed. And I am okay with that being a possibility, you know? Like, I don't hate the idea of trying to change somebody over, but like I said, it really does create these extra hurdles. I don't mind being like, well, shit, we took a swing and missed, and now we're paying for it because, yeah, that sucks. That really, really sucks. That would be a shame if your game accidentally crashed. We don't really need goalies at all. But just to look. Can't look at... So we got a couple of guys that are 3 years out, including Ellsworth. If we were to take a goalie, then it would be him. But again, we have Ivan Kovic. Like, I'm fairly confident he's the guy. Defensively... 2 years out for Evan Clutterbuck, but at his height, there's no way he's an OFD as a generated player. There's just no way. Do we have anybody 3 years out? Timo Niinimäki, he's 6'5". 3 years out for Manuel Hicks. It's not going to happen there either. Okay, potential 1 year out for Jesper Rodin, but again, 6'4", 208. There's no way the game generated him as an offensive defenseman. There's just no way. And then Terrence Hale. It's not looking good for defensemen from here. It's a good thing we took Brock Cripps. It is a very good thing that we took Brock Cripps. Yeah, there is not too much else going on for us right now. Juha Bernas, we could hope. He looks like he could be an OFD. He does. Low 4 and Schroeder. That's probably not going to be good. Okay, so as a defenseman, that's not that bad. Right wing side, Valeri Kavasha. Jonah Fowler we could take later on, hoping for the best. Alex Emelin. Marcus Weinhandel. Jesper Nilstorp if we're lucky, but yeah, it's not looking good. Left wing side, confirmed medium elite playmaker Nico Heikkila. Okay. Project, but I mean, we're the team that could be able to develop him. These guys are about 6'3". I don't believe they'll actually be the player types I need them to be. That guy's 25. Okay, Isaiah Frank, dude. He's undersized. There's no way he's a two-way, right? There's no way. I mean, we kind of know what to look for in terms of generated players. Like, I highly doubt Vyacheslav Kozanov at 6'4", 213 as a generated player is actually a sniper. That is very unlikely. Zachariah McArdle, confirmed playmaker. Almost confirmed. Well, it is confirmed playmaker, but nothing too crazy. I'll just scout more of these players because I like to put it up to my scouts to not be shit. And because anytime, Cage Free, that I do something more in depth in terms of taking advantage of the new conversation engine, or doing this, or doing that, or taking time with scouting, half my goddamn audience says, this takes too long, why don't you cut this shit out? Then the other half's like, no, we like to see this. So I try to find a balance and say, okay, well, I won't do the in-depth scouting, but then I'll do this, and you can deal with that. And then people still complain about that. I can never win. I've been holding that rant in for a little bit. All right. Well, based off what we were seeing outside, well, now would be the time to take Nico Heikkila. Now would be the time. He won't be available with our next pick. So we are definitely going to take Nico Heikkila. 55 overall medium elite at 19. I mean, you know, maybe I should be a little bit more optimistic in terms of like player height and weight, because he's a bigger playmaker. He's like a Kevin Hayes type, but again, he was confirmed playmaker. That's how we knew. Otherwise, it's probably not worth the risk. Now the question is, who do we go for? Who do we go for? Mercier is pretty close to being confirmed as a two-way. So that leaves Valeri Kavasha, who we could take with a subsequent pick. Maxim Spruev, I don't know if I can trust. There's Jonah Fowler, who's 20. It says X Factor, but yeah, 2 out of 4 wheels. There's no way he hasn't. Low elite Alexander Emelin. I mean, I guess we could take someone like Emelin, could take someone like Weinhandel, because there was nobody else that was super close to being confirmed. There was Juha Pernas, who wasn't that bad either, but we'll lay him high here. We'll lay him high. So it's Kavasha. We'll rule out Fowler for the moment. Kavasha, Emelin, Weinhandel. 121, 150, and 139. How old were all these guys? Emelin's 17. Weinhandel's 18. 2 out of 4 low elite for Emelin. Kavasha, potential medium elite. Let's go for Kavasha. We'll take the Russian. Valeri Kavasha, two-way forward, son of a bitch. We've made 4 picks, and 2 of them are ineligible players. I might not be able to take the risk anymore. I might not. If Emelin's not a sniper, then I'm in a bad way. He's a playmaker, but he's only a low 9. Son of a bitch. Well, at least we got Brock Cripps. And Hakela's not that bad either, but this is certainly not looking to be as good of a draft as last year's was for us. We can take Juha Pirnes and hope that he is an OFD. He is an OFD, but he's only a medium 7th. And then, of course, we have the second to last pick because we made a trade to get rid of a couple of people. Unknown sniper, Marcos Anderson. That guy's probably a two-way defenseman from the looks of it. Yeah, we really don't have too much going for us here, do we? Oh, there is this Swiss option, Marcos Anderson. Confirmed sniper, at least. Let's take him. What's the worst that could happen? Medium bottom 6. Sure. That was a very disappointing draft. We missed out on Landon DuPont. We wasted a couple of picks. I do think it was worth it to take the risks. But on both occasions, the risks completely failed. So goalie-wise, that is what it is for the moment. We are signing Brock Cripps to his ELC. Isn't it, Monk? Hello, by the way. And then again, Pirnes was a OFD out of Linköping. So we'll sign him up as well. Right wing side, we're going to have to trade Goldobin for nothing. We'll drop Blake Wheeler. We'll drop these RFAs because whatever. I was just trying to give him a chance to develop. Emlyn was a playmaker. Kavasha cannot be signed, though. How was McKenna's rookie year? Okay, but not amazing. He did develop, though. So he's looking pretty good, all things considered. I mean, he's an 85, high franchise. So, yeah, 9 goals, 38 assists, minus 68. Obviously not amazing. Hakela and Anderson. We got to sign both of you. I'm running out of room to sign people. I'm going to have to trade some dudes as we did before. And for the centers, we actually have nobody to worry about. Okay. Oh, that second round pick being a miss is devastating. Like, if we had been able to land Brock Cripps and then get a high 60 rated medium 6 in the second round, that would have been awesome. That is not what happened. All right. So we need to get rid of some fellas. Goldobin, Kavasha. And then anybody higher rated that we don't actually need. Let's go for Curry, and we'll get rid of Mac Hollowell as well for now. And let's do NHL team wheel spin. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is still out of date. Yeah, like they still got the Coyotes. We'll put Utah on the board. Do they have the Kraken? They don't have the Kraken either. All right, there we go. Let's spin this bad boy. Who will get this group of players? The Boston Bruins. Now, some might say, hey, you're a Bruins fan. Come on, that's bias. You think I want to help Don Sweeney keep his job? I don't think so. All right. And we'll take Seattle's 2028 7th. There you go, Boston. Enjoy. It is so painful if we miss on a draft pick. So painful. Sweeney would reject this trade, probably. In terms of coaches, we got a couple of A-minuses in the mix. Balanced. Offensive for Ricky Tubert. And then Severson is a teacher, but veterans. Again, doesn't really make sense. So Tubert wouldn't be too bad, but where's Brent Burns? Oh, far down. Are we going to have to go for old Burnsy? Oof, C as a balanced generalist. All right, well, there goes the dream of hiring and trying to develop Brent Burns as a coach, because that shit ain't happening. And it makes sense for us to go with offensive-based coaches, so. Swing and a miss on that one. Not much is going my way tonight so far. Let's see. In terms of scouts, are there more A-rated scouts we can bring in? Yes, there are. Okay. So anybody here, B-. Ryan Reeves is gone. Marco Scandella's gone. Damn. How many A-minuses are there? It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 in total. Okay. Let's fire 2 more at random here, just whoever's up there. We'll slowly work to getting nothing but A-rated scouts in there. Like, he's a generalist, considering he was a winger and a D-man. Yeah, it's accurate. I still like that the picture database has him in a Sharks uniform. All right, there we go. We'll see who we can bring in, and that sets us up then for some off-season training, which should be pretty straightforward, right? Like Ivan Kovic, 5-star reflexes, 5-star athletic categories, so work on that puck control. I mean, he's turning into a beast, and there's a really good chance that our preseason training is, again, going to be goalie-focused. Probably the last time that it is. Honestly, we might want to put Mansgus in as the backup. I thought about that this last preseason because he has a little bit more long-term potential than Hronek. Speaking of the Mongoose, reflexes, buddy. A couple of 2.5-star categories for him. And then David Coyle, same thing. 69th overall pick in his draft class, David Coyle. The sex number, David Coyle. Holling up to a 72 currently, obviously, as is the case, and will continue to be the case. A lot of these are going to be, hey, for the love of God, work on your skating. But it also gives us a really good look at, let's go puck skills for Ryan Lynn. It also gives us a really good look at how these guys develop now that we've hit the off season entirely, right? Like the progress reports don't quite show us everything that we're looking to see. So, Brock Cripps, it is going to let me put him into training. He needs to work on his skating. The last time we used Brock Cripps, it was a bit of a challenge to get him to develop as a skater. Hopefully that's not the case this time. And then I don't believe any of these other guys are ours outside of the bottom 2. Like you to target a plus-minus of better than minus 100. It would be so great if we had a little bit more control over player goals like that, because that is exactly what I would do. Daryl Monador, you can't skate worth a damn. So let's work on that. Like, you used to be able to do that in the 2K games, is be like, hey, 20 goals, 30 goals. Like, the targets used to be a lot more negotiable back in those games, to my recollection, at least. This one, it's just like, 30 goals translates to this, which isn't like the worst way to do it. It's just not as hands-on. Raymond Woolley's actually a half-decent skater already. So he's going to continue to be a part of this team for the foreseeable future. Alexander Emelin can't skate worth a damn. Or a high-skill team that doesn't have skill and doesn't have pace. That's not a good sign. Gavin McKenna. His skating's all right. We go for that offensive awareness category to get it to 5 stars. That wouldn't be too bad, but we can also have him work on his shooting. There is a chance we're going to be able to get him to change to a sniper. Ideally, he or Misa would be a sniper, Or we could have drafted a high-end sniper like Skvortsov, but again, I think we'll have time to do that later on. Delmore, another player that we actually care about. Let's get your skating up a little bit, please. God, please figure out how to skate. Hedman, Henrik Hedman, who did play in the NHL last year. That's not a good thing. 6th round pick straight to the NHL, baby. He's 1 in a million. And by that, I mean he's the worst NHL player to ever play. Not that a million people have played in the NHL. Although I do wonder what the actual number is. Let's see, Miles Layman. Spursy, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Again, this year, roster editing-wise, I don't quite have the same amount of time that I used to, but I am really happy working with Vasi and Tactics as the three of us kind of put our brains together and, you know, we're trying to put the best rosters out that we possibly can. So, yeah, it's been nice to not have it be viewed as like this daunting task of having to do everything, because that is very time consuming. So, let's go shooting for Misa. But yeah, I'll always have, I think, a love and a passion for the roster editing side of things. At least until EA changes the fucking way they do it and we actually get a better default product. But not holding my breath on that one, you know? Not holding my breath there. Not at all. And that's because it's been over a decade of... I mean, God, I've been a part of like the whole like roster editing community for as small as it is for over a decade. Like I said, I remember being in freaking middle school and high school and, you know, putting transactions into the game, like getting home from school on deadline day and checking like, okay, who got traded where? Let me put the moves into the game and then start a new franchise. Like doing that shit since I was a kid. And despite there being other people with that passion that have tried to shout from the rooftops of, hey, EA, notice us. We'd like to help and fix things. Yeah, that hasn't happened. Whether that be myself or Tactics or Vasi or Glove Save or I've talked about these guys in the past, but real ones will remember the Peter Puck community from back in the day. And holy shit, the amount of time I spent using their work as motivation. Because obviously, like, there wasn't any version of roster editing, and like literally you would have to download a program onto your computer to be able to put a roster file on a thumb drive on your Xbox, put it onto your PC, put it into this program to download their version that they took from their console, overwrite your save data, and then put it back onto your Xbox. Or you could manually be like, oh, okay, who are the created players for Boston? Tyler Sagan, edited from Plymouth. Like, you know, I don't know whatever happened to the people behind this site, but they were a huge motivation for me. And, again, like, how much better would the rosters be if there were people, like whoever was behind Peter Puck, you know, being involved in that process? Or, like, I've always spoken about, like, hey, you know, people have joked, like, oh, EA should hire you. EA should hire you. Yes, they should. But it doesn't even have to be me. It just has to be somebody that has that passion that can properly focus on the task. Because as much as people are like, oh, it's not a one-person job, it can be. I have proven that. Tactics has proven that. Vasi has proven that. Glove Save has proven that. It can be a one-person job, but they need to have the time, the give a shit, or both for it to be successful. And judging by the state of the provided rosters from EA still, well, at least one of those elements are missing. I'm not sure which, but at least one of them are. So, I don't know. At the very least, there is the roster sharing side of things now, which again just makes my job easier for not having to do the full undertaking because instead of roster editing right now, I get to play franchise mode. Because otherwise, this past month, with probably still another month to go, would have been every night of being like, all right, we're on Chicago. Let's see what Nick Foligno is going to be. Which, don't get me wrong, some people love those streams. Not everybody, though. Kind of like how I mentioned I can sit there and do off-season training and free agent scouting, and someone will always be unhappy. Talking to you, Doug. Jesus.